Alright guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be shooting a video a little bit different than normal. It's lawnmower maintenance, and this lawnmower hasn't really been maintained very well. I don't change oil like I should. I try to get by a couple years on the blades, but this time the blade got bent, so I know it's wore out. It's time for the oil change. The good thing about this particular model, this is the YS4500, and I've had it for about 8 years or so, maybe a little longer. It's got a Kohler Pro 20 horse. It's the Kohler Courage, and it needs a good bath. So I may run the water up here and wash it off. I'm gonna let it cool. I just have drove it down here to the barn. But the good thing about this is it's got a digital hour meter on it. And I'll see if I can get a shot of it. 132.1 hours since I've owned this thing. And I bought it brand new. Which probably had, well, it had less than an hour on it when I bought it. So I try to change oil in it every 50 hours or so, and I'm a little bit behind on it. So used to, you could get a kit, and somewhere on this thing, if you got a Craftsman, should have a parts list, maybe up on the seat. It's somewhere, but anyway, if you got that number right here, the model number 917-276-181, you can go to Craftsman and they look up the parts for you. Oh, here it is. I knew it was under this thing. It's so dirty you can't see it. But under this hood, there's a parts list. What you know, all the parts you need: air filter, spark plug, fuel filter. Oil capacity is 51 ounces, and I bet I didn't. Well, I got 2 quarts, so 2 quarts is 64, so it don't quite hold 2 quarts. So that's a good thing to have if you got a Craftsman lawnmower. Look under your hood, and it should be a list of the part numbers you're gonna need when you go down to Sears to get parts or order them offline or whatever you're gonna do. Tractor Supply, if you got one of those nearby, carries a lot of parts for these. Actually, I went to Sears. All I could find at Sears was the oil filter, the blades, and the spark plug. And then I went to Tractor Supply. I got the air filter. I could have bought the blades cheaper at Tractor Supply, but not the premiums, and the oil. And so everything I need is in this trash can. I just throwed everything in here except for this replacement hose from a pressure washer. I had to buy it because we burn a hose in the other one. No, burn a hole in the hose. So here's the oil filter, and here's the spark plug. Now, why they're not using Kohler spark plugs or Craftsman plugs, whatever, I don't know. First fire, I've never used them before. The part number is FF20, but it replaces these down here. And then I had to go to Tractor Supply to get the air filter. Got the genuine Kohler, and it's a weird shaped air filter. Got a little old block down there. And I went ahead and got the Kohler engine oil. It's about $6 a quart for this. I don't know what the difference is. Probably could get by with just any good engine oil. And of course, I got the premium heavy duty blades from Craftsman. For the few bucks more, it's well worth the money to get the premium heavy duty blades, because the cheap ones seem to only last about a season and they just wore slap out. This is made out of a lot thicker material, and I can usually get a couple of years out of these blades if I ain't cutting dirt. So first thing we're gonna do is drop this deck, slide it out from under it, and change the blades. Of clean the deck off. Got an air gun. And of course I had to have air supply because you're just about going to need an impact to get these nuts off the bolts out of the spindle. So I got my air out here. Not sure what size sockets yet. These decks are usually pretty easy to get off. There's only a few clips on each side. I think I've already done a video on how to drop a deck off this thing. So look back, if you don't know how, just look back in my videos and it should be in there somewhere. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the deck off, turned over. I'll let you see what it looks like underneath. Alright guys, here's the other side. This blade on the left right here is bent. You'll be able to tell it when I get it off. The other side ain't bent, but I noticed it was cutting deeper on one side than the other, which I don't normally do that. I do have some plastic H twine wrapped around that one, but that happens when you cut grass around the barn. So it's a 5/8 headed bolt, and I got a leaky air hose. And I think this is one of my paint gun was making ragged. I thought it was the regulator, but I think it's just chuck needs to be replaced. It's a lot easier with the impact than it is with a ratchet. Now you can see where it's bent pretty good too. Wasn't a whole lot of life left in these. I'll keep this one over here for a spare. It's still in pretty decent shape. And next time when I bend just one, I'll put this one on and save me $20 for a little while. See the difference in it. Pretty good. It's cutting about an inch into the ground. Alright, so these premiums come packaged in some really thick plastic. So I'll just take a utility knife, pour down the back of it, and unwrap it. Down here we go. See. Also got a little glue on it. And on the back you can see the star that goes on this star here. So we'll just take the fingernail and just peel the paper back a little bit where we get a good contact. More. Now that's a pretty thick glue. Now on the blade itself, it's going to say grass side. So the grass side is going to go outward. It's going to be towards the grass. So we're going to put it on like that. We'll make sure it seats all the way flush with that spindle. If it don't, then you're going to have issues with it coming loose and tearing up the bottom of the spindle. One reason I always pull the deck out to do this is because I have tried to pick up the front end and do them, and I have burnt spindles doing that. So get the nut off the socket over there. Shut that damn air up. Alright, so it's also a good time to check your belt. And I went ahead and blowed the grass out of here. I don't know if y'all can see where I'm at. Nope. So I went ahead and blowed all the grass away from the spindles. You can see I've got paint coming off my deck. For some reason, these mowers are terrible about packing grass around the spindles. You think it will just blow on out, but it don't. If you want to check the belt, this one's definitely ready to be replaced. It's got some bad spot right there. So next time I'll probably be looking to get a belt. I don't know, maybe it'll probably make it this year, but it definitely is ready. When you get ready to slide it back in, you will make sure that these are down this way, because if they're back the other way, you'll have to slide it back out. What I need to do is I pull it out on this side, and then I'll go around and grab the discharge side and easily pull it back under. Alright, so pretty much everything that we're going to need to get to is on the left side of the motor. I don't have a pan that will fit in here, so I'm just using a couple mixing cups. Probably take 2 of them. So first thing I want to do is drain this oil. And I should have got a fuel filter while I was at it, but I don't know if y'all can see. You can see this is pretty neat how they do this. They got a cap on it, and then this thing here just twists and pulls out. So I'm gonna have to set you back up and do so. I'll just pull it out. Go ahead and stick this up here. Twist it counterclockwise. The whole damn thing's turning. Oh, it's also plugged, so we got to hold this damn plug. So let me get my plug back on here. I got to hold that plug still. There she goes. Let's see if I can get the camera shot here. Shit. Well, that ain't what I wanted, but low ring right here. Anyway, it's supposed to be a lot cleaner than that, but oh well, sometimes crap happens. You can see this oil needed changing probably last year, and I just didn't do it. Pretty close, I guess. That ain't really nothing. I didn't think it was that low. I check it. I don't check it every time I use it, but a lot of times I check it and it might be just a tad low, but maybe it shows a tad low. So that's less than 28 ounces. Alright, so now we'll move on to the oil filter. Might be another half pint in it. And hopefully we can get off by hand. Stick the cup back on here. If not, we'll use an oil filter wrench or what have you, but I've got this big pair of channel locks if I can get them on it. Pretty good. Break one free. Always want to make sure that the gasket came off with the old one, and you always want to pre-lube the gasket. You don't really have to put oil in the filter, but it does need to be lubricated so that it will slide against the metal and not bind up. And then we just hand tighten. Tight as we can get it by hand, that's all you need. Of course, if it leaks, you can always tighten it up some more. There you go, there's the oil filler spout. Another mess. There's one board. That's gonna be pretty close. Right there. Pretty close. Now, ain't no need in checking the level because it's gonna show high. Depending on how much I spilled. Spilled a good bit, looks like. But the level's gonna show high until you crank it up. Looks like I spilled it all. Got up under this damn cover right here. So we're not gonna worry about the level. It should be good. I'll check it after I crank it in a little bit. Hope this wind ain't too much wind noise. It's getting a little breeze out here. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is replace the air filter. And this screws unscrews. Finish unscrewing. But they stay in the lid. You notice that how this goes on, facing outward. You can see how dirty it is. Maybe pretty dirty. Now this other thing, it goes up here, and this didn't have one because that last kit I bought, it didn't come with it. It's like a pre-filter, and yeah, it's just a pre-cleaner. It said the other kit didn't come with one, so I didn't put one in it. I couldn't find the kit in the kit form, but this one goes right up here, and then this one goes out. And we want to make sure that it seals all the way around. I thought maybe you had to pre-oil that pre-cleaner, but I didn't see any instructions to pre-oil it, so I'm not going to. Alright, then the final thing is the spark plug. Now this one's a little bit tricky to get to. To get to the spark plug, we're going to have to take off this top. So we got a bolt here. Just going to loosen them right now. We got a bolt over here, front or the rear, whichever way you want to look at it. A bolt over here by the oil filter, so I'll be able to clean under it. Got a bolt by the air cleaner. I believe that's all of it. So we're going to pull our dipstick away. Let the damn thing drop. We're going to use this cover up. And we can get to this oil I dumped all behind here. Right there. From this side so I don't get in the way. 5/8 spark plug wrench. Should have brought extension, but this thing hasn't been running bad, so I don't really foresee this plug actually needed changing, but it's always a good idea. And this is a Champion plug. So I don't know. I mean, Champions seem to do pretty good in small engines, but I don't really put them in no big engines. We'll save the plug in case the other plug craps out, because I just ain't never had no dealings with that kind of brand of plug. See, that plug is actually in real good shape. No fouling, no oil. The electrode's a little bit rounded over, but not bad. I don't know what's the proper gap is on these. It don't say that I can see anywhere. I don't have any anti-seize on hand, so we're just going to go right back in. And that's usually all I do anyway on these motors, and I really haven't had no issues. I don't really like turning it by the ceramic. I did have a small oil leak on this thing a while back. It was the case seal. One of the case bolts was right in here was loose and leaking oil, but it appears that I fixed that issue when I tightened it back up. So we got to get our dipstick back out. Cover back down. Dipstick back in. And put our bolts back in. Alright, so that is pretty much all it is to do routine maintenance on these lawnmowers. Now, I ain't gonna say it's cheap. The blades at Craftsman or Sears are $20 a piece. The filter is $20. The air filter is $20. The oil was $6 a piece, so that's 12. 20 is 32. Alright, plus 40 is 72, plus the oil filter, which was $13 I believe, is 90. And the plug, you're going to spend a good $100 bill doing routine maintenance on these things. Ain't no doubt about it. Everything's expensive. And like I said, you just hope you can get by a few years in between. I think it's really been about 2 years since I've changed the oil and put blades on this thing. I don't change oil every time I put blades on, so maybe 3 years. But anyway, it needed it, and it's got it. And we'll crank it up and let you listen to it. This thing's run about as good as you can ask since I got it. It sits all winter with that crappy gas in it. It fires right up. And like I said, the only issue I've had is that one oil leak and just routine maintenance. This is the 3rd oil change I've give to it, and coming on 9 years. And like I said, it ain't got that many hours on it. I did have to replace the gas tank. It went to leaking on me, and actually the gas tanks, believe it or not, ain't like 20 bucks. Can you believe it? I figured it'd be $60 or $70 for that gas tank, but it was really cheap. And so far this one stood up. I think the first one went to leaking after about 2 or 3 years. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and please rate, comment, subscribe if you hadn't, and stay tuned for more. I don't know if I'll do any more videos on the Craftsman here, but I will be doing some videos on that truck I'm building, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.